Have you been shadow banned by the liberal media? Free market got you down? Do you get ratioed on every Twitter post because of your shit takes on literally everything? Then producer Dave and HK are probably watching your 3-hour dissertation on how a tomato cannot possibly be a fruit because gender and critical race theory can be cured with ivermectin. The Intellectual Dollar Tree, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Please leave it a 1-star review on iTunes. Check out the rest of our schedule at echoplexmedia.com.
Anonymous.
Didn't make it to the vault in a pool of blood from the police assault. No revolution, instead your body beaten blue and red in a bright white light on the horizon. Instead, then the napalm drops and the flames won't stop. The teacher's dead, preacher's dead, soldiers dead, cops. The napalm drops and the flames won't stop. The teacher's dead, preacher's dead, soldiers dead, cops. What you gonna do when no one comes for you? You better make a plan for the wasteland. So what's your plan for the wasteland? No mutants or martyrs, just malnourished kids telling stories about all the fun stuff we did. No gas for the car and no shells for the guns, so sit back, relax, let the cannibals come. You wish they were zombies, but there's breath in their lungs. Breath in their lungs. What you gonna do when no one comes for you? Oh, what you gonna do when the hungry humans come for you? You better make a plan for the wasteland. So what's your plan for the wasteland? What's your plan for the wasteland? So what's your plan for the wasteland? Would you rather be starving? I would rather be gone. I would rather be dust when the bombs come along. So I fight with the dying when you can rest and be dead. We all need survival like a hole in the head. Pray you're safe and you're sound, not sleep in the ground. Pray the first fucking target is this quaint little town. When the gas came you choked, when the fun came you drowned. What you gonna do when no one comes for you? Oh, what you gonna do when the consequences come for you? You better make a plan for the wasteland. So what's your plan for the wasteland? Ain't got no plan for the wasteland. Thinking I'll go Sam for the wasteland. You're a bitch of pen for the wasteland. You got no plan for the wasteland. So what you gonna do when no one comes for you? You better make a plan for the wasteland. You better make a plan for the wasteland.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do the show live every Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific and beyond into red light. Usually the podcast hour is the 8 to 9 hour tonight, but tonight we're going to be doing an extended podcast because I didn't have time to organize things too well. So we're just going to kind of go through all the stories, and once all the stories are gone, we're going to go into red light. Podcast listeners, be sure to check us out on Odyssey, YouTube, and of course Twitch, twitch.tv/EchoPlexMedia. If you don't want to do any of that, though, you can go to patreon.com/Echoplex, and you can, if you support us at the $5 level, you will get full audio capture of all our shows, the video capture of all of our broadcasts, except for like any DJ work I do. I just cut that out of the videos that we put out there, and other great stuff. Like this week, I put out Conspiracy Bingo and Catterday for patrons, so that's good. And you also get the shows a day early. This show will go out Wednesday, but the patron show goes out tomorrow. Intellectual Dollar Tree will go out Thursday. Intellectual Dollar Tree will go out Friday. The patron show goes out Thursday, etc., etc. And I guess with that, let's get right to it. It's been a hell of a week, everybody. There's just so much different stuff going on. I couldn't really separate it out in any kind of meaningful way. So it's just all in some kind of thing that resembles an order of things. So our first couple stories are about George Santos, if that's his real name. Here is the Republican chair for the state of New York talking about all of George Santos' supposed accomplishments. Fucking A. Hold on a sec. That was my fault. Getting off to a great start. What is this? Where'd it go?
Riveting radio on Echoplex Media, live.
Could you just explain what was on that resume?
Well, to my recollection, it said he went to Baruch College, said he went to NYU. He later, or perhaps at the interview, I didn't attend it, that he sought a master's degree.
Oh, what's up, Contraband? We're going to be having Contraband on the Intellectual Dollar Tree, I believe. That'll be February 1st.
I don't recall, was it Citigroup, I think? Said he was very successful, told me personally that he had made a lot of money at that age and was successful in life. We got into it, started getting personal about the fact that he came from a poor background, but that he was able to be very successful. Told me, I remember specifically, I'm into sports a little bit, that he was a star on the Baruch volleyball team and that they won the league championship. And what can I tell you?
Look at all these look at all these like old white dudes laughing at the back. Like they know this is all bullshit. This is great. Fucking fantastic. This guy, George Santos, is the gift that keeps on giving. In fact, I heard that George Santos is the one who coined the phrase "the gift that keeps on giving." That's what I was told. I don't know about you guys, but that's my understanding. Could be wrong though. He seems to be a fan of the tall tale. So here's more of fucking George Santos. This time, this is One American News Network reporting that actually it's the left. The left is just trying to like make this guy look like he's a liar. There's no actual lying going on. It's just the left is just being big meanie pants to the guy. And I guess the head of the Republican Party of New York is the left being hella meanie pants to this guy.
His Neil W. McCabe reports on the left's efforts to take down one of those House Republicans and his efforts to fight back.
New York conservative Republican George Santos,
inventor of gold,
won his House seat by 8 points in November. But in late December, wild stories and accusations tarring Santos appeared in the left-wing media. Now, a Capitol Hill source told One American News that not only is Santos not quitting, he is upping the ante by hiring MAGA fix-it wizard Vish Burra to his Capitol Hill team.
Burra first came to the national stage in 2019 as the producer of Stephen K. Bannon's War Room podcast, which he helped build into a political juggernaut.
Well, that'll convince everybody this guy's not a complete liar and bullshit artist, that's for sure. I know when I want people to believe me, I hire people that work with Steve Bannon. Makes you super, super, super credible. So here's... This is from 2020. This is apparently George Santos didn't even always go by the name George Santos. Watch this. I couldn't believe this when I saw this because this was news to me because I'd been following this and I thought I'd heard it all. But I mean, I thought I'd heard it all is also a phrase coined by Mr. George Santos. Here we go.
Folks, another important speaker, another congressional nominee. George Santos. George, who we know is a friend, and he's known as Anthony DeVolder to me. So I don't know where George Santos came into the thing.
He had another name, Anthony. His name was Anthony before. Like, that's so funny because I'm like, if his name really is George Santos, maybe it's not.
But that's what it says here. He's the Republican candidate for the New York 3rd Congressional District, running against Pelosi puppet Representative Tom Suozzi, who is facing some radical left-wing Democrats in a primary. George worked at Goldman Sachs and is currently at Leap Bridge.
Youth Decay, I don't even know if you're kidding. If is his real name George Anthony DeVoider Santos, or are you? I don't know. If you're listening to the chat, you might want to check out the video of this because it's not going to make a lot of sense otherwise. Or if you're listening to the pod, you might want to check out the video of this.
Investor, where he quickly advanced to become one of the youngest vice presidents in the industry. That's very impressive, George. Anthony, whatever you are. George has a passion for philanthropy, where he has found
that wasn't me that slept with your wife. That was Anthony.
And worked with nonprofit organizations. And I've met with this gentleman one-on-one. There's no one that has a bigger heart, more intelligent, and more passionate. And let's introduce our next congressman in that district, George Santos, Anthony DeVolder. Anthony, come on
up. Well, you got a dead name, and why you got a dead name, my friend?
I'm a victim of circumstances. My parents were Latino, so it's George Anthony DeVolder Santos, commonly known as Anthony. But I just wanted to thank all the speakers prior, Cherie.
Wait, I thought at one point he said he was half black, and another point he said he comes from a Jewish family. But then he said it was like Jewish because he was from New York. What a wild ride this is going to be.
I've been following you. Congratulations. So I just wanted to start this. America's under attack.
By who? Anthony or George? Oh man, that's all right though. Didn't you know that everybody embellishes their resume? I heard that everyone embellishes their resume. That's what Matt Gaetz has to say anyway.
You have admitted embellishing your resume. You've acknowledged it. You've apologized for it. Some have said that you shouldn't be seated on committees for it. I would offer that if we didn't seat people on committees who embellish their resume running for Congress, we probably wouldn't be able to make a quorum in any of those committees.
I mean, that says a lot about the party you're a part of, my friend.
You now have a sense of the committees you want to serve on, the type of work you want to do.
I came to D.C. without really any preconceived notions of what committees to serve, but what I can give to the American people.
What are you talking about? You invented the committee.
Whatever committee I'm given, whether it's, I don't know, science and technology or education and labor, or...
Those are all things that he is very good at. Has PhDs in all of them, actually.
Whatever committee is thrown my way, I will deliver 110% because that's what I know how to do.
That's what you did with your fucking CV, isn't it? You gave way more than 110% of what you actually did. You gave like 1,800% of the things you've actually done.
Going to outwork any of the pundits and talking heads that are out there saying that I should resign, that I'm unfit for office. The reality is, the case in point here being is, I'm a workhorse. I've worked my whole life. I'm the kid who came from a basement apartment.
You weren't supposed to win this seat.
I was not supposed to win.
He was the first person ever to achieve 110%. Also invented the basement. First person ever to live in a basement apartment. But don't worry, it's actually the New York media's fault that George Santos got away with all this lying. Here's Matt Gaetz on CNN of all places. I don't know why they let Matt Gaetz on CNN, but whatever.
The Americans he serves deserve representation, and they have real challenges, and we ought to work together to solve their challenges and meet their needs.
I mean, I listened and I watched, and I get your point that there's a lot of embellishment by those who run for office, particularly the Congress. But in this guy's case, more on that bio, more in that CV was unfounded than was founded. And those voters went to the polls because the media didn't shine an appropriate spotlight on it, and nor did his opponent, without knowing for whom they were voting. Isn't that a fair statement?
You know what's crazy to me is that happened in New York, of all places. Like, this wasn't rural Mississippi. It was the center of the media. And I think there actually were some local outlets that reported on the concerns about Santos as a candidate.
One weekly. That
was in the public sphere. It's up to the political process to resolve those things. He is a congressman. He was seated. And so I'm going to treat him as a colleague, and he's going to have to endure the process that goes through managing the conduct of members.
My hunch is that if your margin in the House were not so thin that you and or Kevin McCarthy would have a different opinion on that issue. You know I'm going to...
Yeah, that's probably true. You know, I think that like whoever his opponent is probably just fucking like phoned that shit in, because like, how could you not, as this guy's opponent, just be like, this guy's lying about everything. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican or whatever, but this guy's lying. You can't prove any of his claims. Like, I wish I would have been like managing his his opponent's campaign. I would have had George Santos for lunch. I am so good at like talking shit on a grifter, and this dude's a grifter. So it looks like Kevin McCarthy's going to stand by his man here. That's also Stand By Your Man, written by George Santos.
Congressman told us this morning that he will not be stepping down, and it sounds like he's not going to get really any pressure from GOP House leadership. We will tell you what Kevin McCarthy told us earlier today. Santos tweeted this a short time ago. I was elected to serve the people of New York 3, not the party and politicians. I remain committed to doing that. I will not resign. Now, Nassau County Republicans say he's got to go. He's a stain on their district, and they will no longer interact with him. This all comes amid an investigation by the Nassau County District Attorney's Office and federal prosecutors in New York over lies that he told about his finances, his heritage, his resume. There's
just anything. His heritage. He was half black and half white. Then he was Jewish. He was like, actually, I'm just kind of Jewish, you know, in New York. I mean, aren't we all kind of Jewish? And then he I think he just said a little while ago that he's from a Latino household. And I mean, like, fucking, okay, whatever. The line of Beastie Boys song that reminds me of. Maybe shouldn't repeat it on stream.
Now a complaint filed with the Federal Election Commission for possible misuse of campaign donations. And Martha, 2 Democrats have now filed a complaint against him with the House Ethics Committee. Now, Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who's
like this... How many days was he in the House of Representatives before he had a complaint filed against him by the fucking ethics committee? Like, was it just waiting on his desk when he got there?
Pretty quiet so far. Finally commented about this today, telling Fox that Santos will continue to serve, at least for now.
The voters are the power. The voters made the decision, and he has a right to serve here. If there is something that rises to the occasion that he did something wrong, then we'll deal with that at that time.
Are you kidding? It rises to the occasion that he did something wrong? The whole thing he did was a lie. I mean, whatever. I guess people lie to get elected all the time, so maybe we shouldn't be so hard on our dude. I don't know. I guess it's going to be interesting to see in 2 years, right? In the 2024 election cycle, is somebody going to primary this guy? Like I would say from the left or from the center or from the right on the GOP. I don't even know. Is he even have like how do you even decide if the person primarying him is more moderate or more conservative or whatever? Because you have no idea when this guy's like, oh, I believe in this. You're like, sure you do, buddy. The chat or Youth Decay in our chat thinks he's going to get kicked out before then. I don't know. I mean, he might have broken some laws. And if you broke some laws, it's not illegal to lie in an election, but that doesn't mean doesn't mean that the district attorney or whatever from the county that he's in isn't looking into all his shit. Or in all these different counties, actually, he lived in every county, actually. So the district attorney of any county could actually go after him because he would be like, oh, I lived there. I had a nice house there. I was also poor there. I came from nothing there, but I also lived on the Upper East Side. Well, we're going to move on to sore loser Kari Lake. We got a couple clips. 2 of them are kind of long, but I think we'll watch most or all of them because we have 2 hours to fill here before we go into red light this evening. Here's Kari Lake here's sore loser Lake on the Charlie Kirk Show.
We're not going to give him an inch. I'm going to be involved. You're going to be involved. We're going to show up at those difficult, LD meetings at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday, and we're going to give the speeches. We're going to look people in the eye. I'm going to communicate to them the best I can. I know you will. Okay, so I want to get back to something here, Carrie, that really flummoxes me and confuses me. So here you are in the midst of a lawsuit. You have to prove malice, which is very hard in a short period of time, an almost impossible threshold, because all Richard and Bill Gates and those buffoons have to say is, well, I'm just such an idiot.
It's so unfortunate that I think it's the chair of the Board of Supervisors of Maricopa County's name is Bill Gates. It's just unfortunate for him, all things considered.
I don't know how to run it, and that was basically their defense.
Right.
My idiocy and my inability to run functioning systems is exactly why Katie Hobbs should become governor. But then something interesting happened is in the midst of the automatic recount for Abe Hamaday, we realized all of a sudden a couple hundred vote discrepancy in a conservative county, Pinal County, and it just makes you wonder, if that all of a sudden was able to happen, what would the recounts look like in Coconino or in Democrat parts of Maricopa or in Pima County? The percentage-wise, it was massive. So now that you are still proceeding with lawsuits, are you able to use some of that as at least either precedent or as an argument to say, we need a hand ballot by ballot, robust signature verification recount?
Are the ballots still somewhere? It's been a while since the election. Didn't they just, it's just a bunch of fucking paper. Didn't they throw that shit out? How long do they keep the ballots?
For my election, your thoughts, Carrie, 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, anything that makes it into the mainstream and people are talking about, we can bring up in our case. I mean, it's difficult to overhaul the whole case. They won't allow that. But we are trying to bring new things in, and we have a lot of new evidence coming our way every day. This is how these election cases work, Charlie.
This is just the Mike Lindell playbook over and over. This is just the same Mike Lindell did. Oh, got more evidence, doing more of the cyber.
So much of it is gathering evidence after the fact. And we were able to pull a great case together in days after the election. Unfortunately, in the lower court, the judge only took 2 of our counts, the 2 hardest ones to prove. We think we're going to have
the judge be trolling. Judge is like, all right, let's go.
Time in the appellate court, and it'll go to the Arizona Supreme Court and maybe even above that to the U.S. Supreme Court. We will be mentioning this. And of course, if we get to the part where we have oral arguments, we can bring these things up as well. There's a boatload of evidence in our favor. And we just need a judge to wake up and
isn't Arizona landlocked?
Line here. And if we do not restore honest elections now, our country will turn into a Venezuela. We have Venezuela style elections. And this is how you destroy a country. That and a wide open border combined and a push for globalism, which really is just a fancy word for communism.
That's not what it's a fancy word for, lady. The globalism is a fancy word for something else. It's a anti-Semitic dog whistle. It's those anti-Semitic drawings of a Jewish person with the marionette. Somebody in chat's like, geography can't hold them back. They could get a boatload of votes into Arizona. Oh no! Here's Sore Loser Lake on Mike Huckabee's show. We haven't had Mike Huckabee on the docket in a very long time. I think he had her on his show just because he's like, Gay Dave and company over there at Echoplex Media haven't made fun of me or my daughter in quite some time, so I'm going to have Carrie Lake on. I heard she believes in chemtrails. That'll for sure get us on the docket for the Plex.
So I'm watching this whole race. I'm thinking, well, there's one race I'm sure of, and that's Carrie Lake is going to be governor of Arizona.
But that's why the polling was like absolutely like neck and neck. And I was like, I have no idea who's going to win this race the night of the election.
And, we kind of go to bed that night thinking it's all going to go that way. So help us understand what did in fact happen.
Well, in Arizona, we vote for a month and then we count votes for 2 weeks until we get the outcome that they want. And sadly, this is where we come to. And what happened was...
Does he have a real studio audience or is that a laugh track? Do you think that's a real studio audience or did he borrow a laugh track from the trigonometry guy?
More people were showing up on election day. 75% of the voters on election day were voting for me. And we know that because that's what the exit polling was showing.
Yeah.
And they sabotaged election day. On election day, all of a sudden, the ballot printers were printing out a 19-inch ballot on a 20-inch ballot paper. And that caused the computers to jam. And it caused people to not have their votes counted. And then we found out they added 25,000 additional votes 2 days later after election day. 300,000 ballots that didn't have chain of custody. We don't know where they came from.
So far, it's been a tough slog, and the courts have said, nope, we're not going to take a look at that. It's not that they said you were wrong. They didn't really do the audit. Is that?
Well, the court, yeah, the court doesn't just immediately go, you're wrong, get out of here. The court would say something along the lines, if you haven't met the requirements to bring this action, so we're not going to proceed with it.
Is that a fair assessment of what's happened?
We sued and we had 10 counts, and the judge he said, I will listen to 2 counts. He gave us the 2 hardest to prove, but we did a great job proving it. I don't know if you followed it. And he ruled against us.
Oh, we watched that shit.
So now we're in the appeals court. Good news.
Her lawyers are clowns. Her lawyers are like the same as the Alex Jones lawyers.
They've taken it based on merit, and we're going to push it to the Arizona Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court if we have to, because we know we won, and we have to fight this.
Oh, that's a real crowd.
Have the ballots been preserved?
Well, we hope they've been preserved. Unfortunately, the 2 men who run Maricopa County is a mega county, which it's also a mega county, by the way.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Maricopa County contains Phoenix, and I believe, is it Scottsdale? What's the other big city that's in Maricopa County where like all the fucking people live? That's a city. Those are not the those are blue places. Maricopa County is a blue county. I know there's two of the bigger cities. I mean, Phoenix is the big city. It's Tempe is also there. Those are blue counties. Or that's a blue county. That's like and the reason that Arizona is trending towards the Democrats is because more and more people are moving to cities, and for whatever reason, when you live in a city, you end up voting for Democrats. I think I don't know. Is it magic? Who knows?
But it's also a mega county, which means it's one of those massive counties where if you win that county, the whole state, it has to go that way because it's so big. 62% of our population lives in Maricopa County.
Wow.
And the 2 men running the election are both Republicans, sadly, but they ran a super PAC raising tens of thousands of dollars to defeat me. And here they are running the election. I'm on the ballot. They didn't want election deniers because I understand what happened in 2020. I did some research and I know.
Damn, what a diss. What a diss. There are 2 people on the board of supervisors that are Republicans that like ran a super PAC to try to get your opponent elected because you cray. That must be the part that hurts the most, right?
A bad election in 2020. We can't keep having stolen elections or we won't have a country much longer.
There's something, I think, troubling to all of us when a ballot for electing our leaders is about as secure as getting the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstake in the mail.
That might be more secure.
Well, it might be. You know, the chance that we're going to send it back and get $10 million. And a lot of people are scratching their head saying,
wow, they're sure reaching out to the youths. Talking about the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Boy, they're going to get them young voters in the fucking cities with this message. Good job.
Is that really an effective way to carry out election integrity? And obviously it isn't.
I have a home, homeowners association, and our
oh no, of course she's in the homeowners association. Oh, of course.
HOA board are more secure than the elections in Arizona. It shouldn't be that way. We need secure elections. I started voting in 1988. I'm going to date myself here. Registered as a Republican because I was so inspired by the president of my youth, Ronald Reagan, who grew up about an hour away from me, a couple decades apart, mind you. And I was so inspired by him. I really admired him as a youngster, and he was the president of my youth. And so he inspired me to register as a Republican. Back then, you voted on Election Day, and you knew the results election night. This is not impossible. It's not.
But the election results were like projections.
Surgery. We can do it. And
they didn't actually finish counting all the votes that same night. It was just the election results were projected. Come on.
Small, small precinct voting, and we can do it. We can count that on election night. We don't have to make it so complicated with tens of millions of dollars in machines where we don't know how the machines work.
Oh, well, let's get rid of all the machines and then hand count the votes and the fucking, but that'll make it faster, actually. What the fuck are you talking about, lady?
They won't show us the software. We know.
What, are you going to fucking audit the code? Actually, I don't like that the software is proprietary. I think all the software running on all the computers in the election system should be open source. So that, I mean, I'm not capable of auditing it, but HK and Matt, who do shows with me here, might be capable of participating in an audit of the software.
That the components to these machines are bought and made by our adversaries in China. I mean, imagine that. We're having China build the components
for everything.
To our voting tabulation machines, and they won't tell us how they work.
China built all the components. China built the microphone that's on your lapel. China built the camera that's pointed at you, the computer that's broadcasting this. Every component in that computer was probably assembled in China. Like, the fucking light behind you probably was made in China. Like, get out of here.
It's fraught with fraud, and we need to fix this right now, because I want my kids to have a free I want them to live in a free America, not in communism.
Oh, yeah, somebody in chat brought up Taiwan. That's right. TSMC is a huge chip manufacturer. So maybe the chips were made in Taiwan. That's definitely true. So here's Sore Loser Lake on the Steve Bannon show. This one's probably way more cooked. Although Steve Bannon is more likely than either Charlie Kirk or Mike Huckabee to like kind of make fun of her and laugh at her. Like, I don't like Steve Bannon at all, but he will in fact laugh at his guest if his guest says something stupid.
Let's go back to Kari Lake into the grind of politics, because the only way you stop this, you got to grind through the politics of it, and the politics of it is pretty nasty. So I'm a little confused, and you're gonna unconfuse me, Kari Lake. Are we doing this earlier? No, we didn't. I followed every day, so I know the audience. Are we doing this earlier? What is the appellate court saying? What's the big deal about on the merits, ma'am?
Well, I think the new information that came out earlier this week, where they're taking the case on the merits. This isn't just they didn't have to take the case. They could have said, we're actually not going to take the case. And they said, actually, we looked at it, we're taking the case. And so Tuesday, the defense has to file their brief. And then we have until the 24th to file our rebuttal.
If I was the defense, I'd just file a brief that said, nope.
I guess you could say. And then the 3-panel judge panel will take a look at it and make a decision. We are still going to push to get this into the Arizona Supreme Court. It's going to end up there ultimately. We'd like to see it go there sooner rather than later. We don't want to have this cartel operative, this cartel-owned, goon, Katie Hobbs, sitting in the governor's office.
Cartel. Oh, Katie Hobbs did such a smart thing during the election, too. She took a good, long, hard look at Kari Lake and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut the fuck up and let this lady do a bunch of media hits, and I think I'm going to win. That was a winning strategy.
Is controlled by the cartels right now. The Secretary of State, Adrian Fontes, is a cartel attorney, and the cartels completely control Arizona, and that's not what the people voted for. We know they stole the election. We know they had intentionally sabotaged Election Day, and we proved that in court, and we will continue to prove it. We have
as opposed to all the unintentional sabotage that goes on.
Evidence coming forth, but we're not going to sit by and watch our state turn into what you're seeing in places like Mexico. And
what are you seeing in places like Mexico? And what do you mean by places like Mexico? There's a lot. Places like Mexico, it's a pretty heavy statement. Unless you're like, I like to go on vacation. Places like Mexico, places south of the United States where it's warmer, places closer to the equator, then okay, you're probably not a racist. But what do you mean places like Mexico?
Skyrocket. We're seeing people flow across our border, destabilization of Arizona and the whole country, drugs pouring in, and the CCP is connected. You've educated people on that. You talked about what they're doing in research labs. How about the CCP infiltrating our university systems right there in Arizona? ASU, the Confucius Institute.
The Confucius Institute is fucking stealing the election. The CCP has put the Confucius Institute. You know what? I can't. I'm just gonna stop before I say something fucking stupid.
take over our research, and they find a great little funnel to bring CCP spies into Arizona. This has to stop. And what we're seeing right now, Steve, which is really scary.
Ooh, if she brings up Baltimore, she'll like say Baltimore. She'll very, very enunciate it instead of like, you know, I've seen The Wire. I know it's Baltimore.
Is Arizona is completely grassroots Republican. The grassroots rose up. We showed up and voted in droves. They had to sabotage Election Day to try to stop us. And now we're watching these uniparty rhinos, the establishment rhinos, going into all these LD meetings where the precinct committee members are meeting, and they're trying to switch.
Oh, what happened to your ring light ran out of batteries?
Into a bunch of rhino-led LDs, and that's
whoa, fucking, oh shit, you know what? She's possessed. You see that? She's fucking possessed.
It's grassroots all the way.
By the way, that fight is nationwide. We're going to go to South Dakota here in a moment and see the precinct strays got them freaked out. And you're right. In Arizona, I've heard about these legislative districts where they're going.
She's at the club.
Remember, the real estate and finance business in Arizona, you got tons of cartel money coming through there, flowing through there to be money laundered, right? That's why the real estate is on fire out there. Not just everybody's trying to, by the way, don't get me wrong. People are moving out to Arizona because it's a fantastic place, but it's
okay. Well, if you're going to brag about all these people from San Francisco and LA and New York and fucking Portland or wherever you're saying are moving to fucking Arizona, and then you're going to be surprised that they fucking go there and vote for Democrats, get the fuck out of here. Oh, they keep doing this. They were doing this in Texas too for a while. They got smart and they shut the fuck up though. They're like, oh, all the people from San Francisco are moving to Texas. I'm like, oh, well, you know what that's going to do to your state eventually, right? When they're doing it right here, they're like, oh, all these people, they're moving to Arizona. It's out of all these liberal places. It's a great place to live. It's like, well, what do you think is going to happen when they move there and register to vote?
It's got a direct link to, I mean, look at the movie Sicario, the second part of it. Right? They talk about the money laundered through the real estate interests in these border states. It's a big deal, and that's why Kari Lake was a threat. Yep. Remember, if you followed the campaign, the elections were obviously important. The elections in 2020 were important, but if you followed her campaign every day, her number one thing was the invasion of the southern border. She was hammered, and the Biden administration understood if Kari Lake's the governor and not Hobbs, right, we got a big problem. We're going to have a big problem in 2024, but we're going to have a big problem because she's going to basically strip away all of our lives. Is that, you believe, the central reason that they had to defeat you, steal it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I wasn't beholden to any of that power structure. I had
that's true. That's true. Like, she wasn't beholden to the power structure because nobody who had achieved legitimate success or even, slightly illegitimate success and who was competent was backing this lady. Her backers were like crazy people like that Anti-Maskers Club Ethan guy and like Ali Alexander, people like Steve Bannon, people who are beyond corrupt.
Lao Beijing, is that the same as We the People?
Lao Beijing. Yeah.
Lao Beijing.
Lao Beijing is Chinese, is Mandarin for, it's called Old 100 names. The Chinese people essentially have 100 surnames. So the little guy, We the People, the John Bull or John Q. Public here, it's the little guy, means the little guy, the guy that always gets it, the guy that, the men and women who raise families, who keep their mouth shut, who build civic society, who build the churches, who coach Little League, or, what they do in China to make the village work. This is what
they do. He's like, I don't know anything about China, actually. I just heard this 100 families thing. He's like, do they coach Little League there? What do they do to make the village work? There's villages in China, right? What the fuck?
When the revolution was to destroy the senior peasants in the towns and villages and go after Lao Beijing, go after the basic structure of the traditional family. This is what every revolution from the French Revolution is focused on. You must.
Now you're against the French Revolution?
That's why he
was on the let them eat cake side of the fucking French Revolution.
Struck fear in the heart of the elite, Kari Lake.
Yep. And we did it with common sense policy. That's what America First policies are. We have a wide open border. It's causing a drug problem. It's causing a crime problem. It's causing destabilization. It's causing a housing crisis. It's causing
housing prices.
Jobs. And so we solve it by securing the border. This is basic stuff. And the political elite will never do it because they are in on that open border. They want an open border. They're in on that structure of the cartels controlling things, and they don't want it secure. secured. And I want a message to the grassroots in Arizona and really all over the country. As they're trying to take back control, I'm talking about the rhinos, trying to take back control from we the people, the little guy, the real average American who has taken control of the Republican Party, thankfully and rightfully so.
Jamie the Bunny, thank you for the resub.
And they're trying to cause chaos at these meetings so that the grassroots Republicans, the America First Republicans, will throw their hands up and just walk out and say, we're done. We're not going to take part in this. That's what they want. Do not walk out of these meetings. Stay put. Hold your ground. They want us not to vote again. We can't let them have that. They want us going back, putting our head in the sand and falling back asleep and not reclaiming our country. We're not going to let them have that. We will not let them have that victory.
Carrie Lake, how do people get you to follow this this vitally important appeal? And then obviously, whoever side loses will go to the Supreme Court. So this is going to the Arizona Supreme Court. How do we stay in touch to make sure everybody in this audience follows the next chapter, ma'am?
Thank you, Steve. We are in
He's like, watch the Plex every Sunday
to win it, and we believe we will.
They're glued to this shit.
They can find me at Getter. They can find me at Twitter. They can find me on Truth Social, on Facebook, or you can go to the page.
That art right there looks awful communist, if you ask me.
Now, which is Save Arizona Fund, FUND. You can find out more about our case, and if you want to help to help us donate to our attorney's fees, that would be great. If you can't afford that, we're not asking you to do it. If you can, that's great. Just send prayers. We need you to pray for our attorneys and for the judges here in Arizona, and frankly, pray for our country right now. We certainly need to bring God back into this country and into our homes and hearts.
Yeah, nobody in America ever talks about God. There's no religious people anywhere. It's the fucking no churches. There aren't even like 3 of them within a 5-minute walk of where I live here in the burbs now. Nope. So Carrie Lake is not a communist. And if you're listening to the pod, go check out the video because the art that she had up on there looked a lot like one of those kind of communist state propaganda posters, the kind of art they would have in that. It wasn't like exactly, the colors were a little off, but maybe she just didn't hire the best graphic designer. You know, artists tend not to be conservatives. So, you know, you get what you get, I suppose. So now we're going to move on to the M&M segment of our fucking docket for the week. If you need a list of the stories, if you're listening to the podcast, the link to the docket is in the show notes. And if you're watching live, you can just hit !docket in the chat. You can get our story list and follow along at home. We'll call it the Playing the Plex at Home game. So here's Tucker Carlson continuing to talk about the fucking M&Ms.
Woke M&Ms have returned. The green M&M got her boots back, but apparently is now a lesbian, maybe. And there's also a plus-sized, obese purple M&M. So we're going to cover that, of course, because that's what we do.
Okay, so this is an obese M&M. I think it's a peanut M&M. Just a peanut M&M.
Decoding Fox News is the best. I'm so glad she started adding her commentary to this stuff.
It's like egg-shaped. And this is perfectly round, but that's thin. Obese, thin. Candy.
Shout out to Decoding Fox News. One of the places we probably get more of our clips from Decoding Fox News than anybody else lately. Did you know that the China and TikTok are actually responsible for the woke M&Ms? Not kidding.
I don't know.
Hang out together and go to the beach.
Because, I mean, that's not what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
But anyway, purple M&M was added to push acceptance and inclusivity. Okay. When you look at the package, the women are upside down. And I understand flipped, but thank you very much, we stand on our own. We don't need to be shown on a package looking crazy upside down.
Wait, I mean, you're really, like, unlike the Carrie Lake logo we just looked at a minute ago, somebody is a pretty good graphic designer here. This is pretty cool. That's a great package design.
I mean, if this is what you need for validation, an M&M that is a color that you think is associated with feminism, then I'm worried about.
Wait, now I thought it was a fat M&M. Now it's a feminist M&M.
Kind of thing that makes China say like, oh, good, keep focusing on that.
Yeah.
Keep focusing on giving people.
Now China's like, oh, we're going to get them now. They're focused on the M&Ms. Well, lady, you're playing right into their fucking hand if you believe that.
Own color M&Ms while we, take over all of the mineral deposits in the entire world.
I want chocolate without commentary and coffee without Latin.
What?
I don't want a venti, I want a grande, I want a small, medium, or large.
Oh, he had to explain the joke. That means it was extra funny.
I don't know about you guys, but when I
outsmarted by a congressman right here, that's where I live.
When I was a young girl, I was like, when I grow up, I want to be the purple M&M. So that was.
This is such hack material. This is such hack material because there's like nothing that, there's nothing that funny about it. They're like marketing, they've anthropomorphized the M&Ms. Just like they did with the fucking Fruit of the Loom. Remember back in the day, they anthropomorphized the Fruit of the Loom? They're just doing that with the M&Ms. They're just sticking arms on them and arms and legs on them and making some of them appear to be women and some of them appear to be men. And just two of the women are fucking girlfriends or whatever. And the peanut M&M's purple. Fucking who cares?
It's a beautiful color. No, I'm joking. No, when I look at M&Ms, I'm just like, I'm going to eat them. It's going to taste delicious. This is ridiculous. But to Martha's point, but China's also pushing all this through TikTok. But anyways,
absolutely.
Wait, China's pushing this through TikTok? Is there a lot of M&M discourse? Are the kids on TikTok? Are the youths talking about the M&Ms?
Can we just enjoy? Yeah. Can we just have something nice for a change? Can we just enjoy?
But I thought those M&Ms are nice. And those characters all look friendly.
Having to be something bigger.
Yeah, we can.
Well, once again, there's also stripping everyone of agency because remember they took the heels off Mrs. Green or Green M&M, however you said Miss Green, right? They put her in sneakers because wearing heels was somehow detrimental because women who choose to wear
because Tucker Carlson can't fap to the fucking M&M and the sneakers anymore.
Heels must not be able to think for themselves, right? They must be doing it for a bad reason.
No, they just changed her shoes, sweetie. Sweetie, they just changed her shoes. Lady, women don't always wear heels. Women who wear heels sometimes also wear fucking sneakers sometimes, actually. It's usually men who only have one pair of shoes. Because we're lazy and don't go buy another pair of shoes because we're slobs.
Everything about this is wrong. And also, we already have the California raisins being all the different sizes. We don't need the M&Ms to be different sizes, too. I can't keep up all the with same it size in the back. Who cares?
Keep up either.
Crazy.
But now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Next up, everybody knows Batman's most famous.
I got nothing. Don't worry, I saved the stupidest for last. But thankfully, I think this guy, and I've avoided talking about this guy on stream. You probably know who it is already. It's this Nick Adams alpha male guy. I think this is a bit. I think this guy might be a conservative, and at the beginning he might have been genuine in some of the things that he was saying, but I think now it's a bit. I think he knows that he can get attention by just saying the dumbest fucking thing in the world. So here he is. Not one M&M. Anyway, whatever.
G'day guys, Nick Adams here. I want to speak about M&Ms.
Oh shit, he's an Aussie?
Mars, the company behind M&Ms. M&Ms have just released feminist M&Ms. Yes, you heard me right. Feminist M&Ms. Egregious sexism of the worst and most conceivable kind. It is
this guy Andy Nolch's dad.
It's disgusting and it must not stand. That is why I am calling for a complete and total boycott of all things Mars and particularly M&Ms. It will not stand. Let me say this loudly, let me say this clearly, let me say this unambiguously. Any male that buys a packet of M&Ms from today forward must hand in their man card because they are a soft, woke, beta male feminist who has serious problems. Until M&Ms rectify this grave wrong by giving us all male M&Ms, this boycott will remain. We will not stand for this at all. M&Ms?
Hey dude, unless you stole those, they just got your money. It's like when people remember the Keurig thing, when people were like clearly taking a brand new fucking Keurig out of the fucking box to smash it in their backyard. It's like, dude, the fucking money you spent on that Keurig still spends the same. It doesn't matter if you smash the Keurig. Oh, he could have been a nice person and given those M&Ms to some kid or something. I don't know. So we're actually kind of plugging along here. Or we're actually taking longer than I thought we would here. So we're going to have to skip ahead a little bit on our docket. Here we go. We got I don't know who the fuck this is. Who is this? I think this is, it's Elise Stefanik. And she's, I don't even know who she is, but she's going to talk about the diverse GOP. And to be fair, we saw some imagery today of the Forward Party's meeting, and I'd suggest to you that the GOP may actually be more diverse than Andrew Yang's Forward Party. Not by much. But here we go. Here's the most diverse GOP ever. And not for nothing, if you look behind her, you know.
Take a look around at these wonderful members. This is the most diverse class of Republicans ever elected in the history of the United States Congress.
Those are all white men over 50 behind you.
We have more women than were ever elected before. More Hispanic members ever elected before.
Look at the room. Look at the room. Yo, this is the most diverse GOP ever. You could have fucking found a black dude or something to put in there. My God. Stick a drag queen in there just to fuck around. Like,
this shows that our party is growing, and I will tell you, the America First agenda is a growing big tent agenda. We've never done better than we do today among Hispanic voters, and President Trump and House Republicans were a huge part of doing that. And
that's amazing. The balls you have to like go on TV and talk about how diverse your party is in a room where it was literally all white dudes except for one person, and it was like the white lady who was probably the head of the homeowners association. Like, oh no. So here we go. Here's Jesse Waters of Fox's The Five, and I think he's going to manage to, he's going to get a lot wrong in a 1 and 3 second clip. Apparently he has a degree in history, which is interesting to note.
We can only get tough with white countries. Russia, the French, who I'm kind of itching for a fight with.
Wait, when was the last time we got rough? We got fucking rough with the French.
If you're Japan, if you're China, if you're the cartels, if you're a Muslim nation, you know what?
God, we didn't just spend we didn't spend the entire decade of fucking like basically the aughts, right? Just bombing the shit out of Muslim nations. Get the fuck out of here.
Bring it on. We're just going to lay down because we don't want to offend anybody. Do you remember that attitude during the war on terror?
Yep. No, I don't actually. I remember the attitude being exactly the opposite of that.
We're going to get too tough with these Muslims, you know, because of Islamophobia. That is the...
Well, no, the argument was that like just because the people who took out the towers and flew a plane into the Pentagon are from countries in the Middle East doesn't mean that you should be a shit to your Middle Eastern or Muslim neighbors. Even George W. Bush was out there saying that, you know, known woke liberal George W. Bush out there being like, oh, we, you know, when like after 9/11, there was a rise in hate crimes against people who were Muslim or people or who folks believed were Muslim. And George W. Bush did the right thing. And he's like, hey, don't do that.
Real threat. So take away the trade, defense policy, take away everything. Just as you said, on COVID alone.
Yep.
They unleashed this disease that murders 1 million Americans. And you're sitting in Congress, you're like, you know what? I'd rather talk about infrastructure. I don't know who her constituents are.
Wait, what?
I can't imagine they support that. Her constituents died from COVID-19. I think their families might want to get tough on China.
And
it might have been America that was involved in that lab. So if, you know, she's an America hater, another reason to look into it.
All right, dude, but like, or it just was the luck of the draw that it happened to be first discovered or isolated or whatever in a human being in China. It's like saying that like this thing happened in California, if it's like an American phenomenon. Well, 1 in 10 Americans lives in California. There's a lot of fucking people that live in China, and China's a big country with a lot of land. So if like we're going to discover a disease somewhere, fucking just more likely in China than anywhere else, just because they have the most people. We don't know for sure that the disease even originated in China. That's our best guess, is that it was of zoonotic origin and jumped from, was that about pangolin to human, I believe. And we believe that happened in China, but we don't know. We don't know. So for a long time, liberals have been like, hey, we should cut the military budget. They're probably spending too much on the military. And generally conservatives have been against it. But I feel like in this case, I feel like we can like maybe help them out a little bit. Maybe we can nudge them in the right direction. Because apparently the military has gone woke.
There's a lot of woke in that budget. There's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. In other words, you don't have to have as I understand it, regular order, you'll decide, the process will decide, but military spending could come under the microscope too. That's the point.
Everything has to be on the table. When you got a $30-some trillion debt and the interest payments are what they're going to be this fiscal year, you got to look at everything. And
fuck yeah, the military's gone woke. Let's fucking push that agenda. We get some cuts to the military. Unfortunately, if we did that, the money would go to like putting more Jesus in your pizza crust or some shit. Like it wouldn't really go, and it wouldn't go to education. That's for sure. Wouldn't go to like housing the homeless, not to healthcare. It'd go to like the 10 Commandments monument somewhere, like a 10 Commandments monument on the moon or some shit. I guess Space Force would have to do that, so that wouldn't be cutting the military spending. I don't know. But I'm for this line of argument that they're doing, where they're saying the military is too woke and we need to cut the budget. I say we should encourage that. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is great. She's trying to distance herself from the QAnon cult, QAnon phenomena, the QAnon blood libel, moral panic, because she thinks maybe it would be better for her future political career to distance herself from such a thing. But we have the receipts here. She was a very, very much a QAnon supporter. And, here's her basically telling everybody that the reason she believed in QAnon is because she's fucking gullible.
After you were elected, that was raw politics. Mm-hmm. But in fairness, didn't you also say around that period that you had been a follower of QAnon conspiracy theories and you had rethought this and you were no longer influenced by the group?
Well, like a lot of people today, I had easily gotten sucked into some things I'd seen on the internet.
Yes.
But that was dealt with quickly early on. I never campaigned on those things. That was not something I believed in. That's not what I ran for Congress on. So those are so far in the past.
All right. You tweeted, I guess, in late December.
Just cut off. I want to know what she tweeted in late December, but I guess it doesn't matter. But her excuse now is like, I just was kind of believing anything I read on the internet. I mean, whatever. I don't even know if she believed in the QAnon thing or if she just thought it would maybe help her get elected. I don't know. Fucking who knows? She's either an idiot or an operator, and maybe a little bit of both. So, unfortunately, in the recent weeks, what is the left doing to, attract disaffected young men discourse has reared its ugly head. I choose generally not to engage in that discourse because I feel like sexist, like young men are just like, we're not going to reach them, and maybe they'll grow out of it. I know a lot of my friends when they were younger were more sexist, and now they've, matured and they're not sexist anymore. I probably held more sexist views when I was 20 than I do today. That's just the way it is. So I don't feel like we need to be as a broader left, like really worrying too much about reaching out to sexist young men. That being said, I don't know if we should cede the ground entirely to Matt Gaetz and Benny Johnson.
Matt, a bit of a esoteric question as we close here this interview, but I think a very important one. A lot of young men are looking for heroes. A lot of young men are looking for the fight. They're, of course, being emasculated. This is affecting our military, as you just talked about. They are being told that masculinity is a poison, that testosterone is a poison, that standing up for yourself, like you just did, against unspeakable pressures. I mean, the pressures you were under was, unlike virtually anything I've ever seen. You could create a diamond with them. It was, and you stood strong, and you were rock ribbed, and you were brass balled, and you had gunpowder in your gut. And a lot of young men see that, and they're like, I want that. I want to be able to stand strong. I want to be able to have constant.
Fortunately, I actually don't think a lot of young men are seeing Matt Gaetz and being like, well, that's actually what I want to be. I think, like Chat was saying, they're seeing like Andrew Tate, and unfortunately, like Jordan Peterson, Justin freaking, thank you for the raid. And fucking goats. I love it when we get goats sent into our channel. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about Matt Gaetz being the one to, get all the disaffected young men to turn into reactionaries.
Institution and an iron spine. What's your advice to young men to go live a noble and brave life?
Find a good woman. I'm a way better man because I have a wife. Because
but you cheat on your wife, I think.
I am, in the type of arrangement that allows you to do your very best because you have someone right there by your side.
You just called it an arrangement.
Inspiring you every day. So I think true, sustainable, authentic relationships make us all stronger. And, I knew that whatever happened at work, when I got home, it was going to be my responsibility to do the dishes, take out the trash, and that my wife would pour me a glass of wine or make me a margarita, and we'd watch Hoarders or something.
That sounds boring. That's not going to be very attractive to young men who feel disaffected and emasculated. They're like, oh, what I really want is, well, I don't know. Maybe if they could get Matt Gaetz' wife to make them a margarita and pour them a glass of wine and watch Hoarders with them while Matt Gaetz is off flying some 17-year-old girl across state lines or whatever it is he does. Maybe he's off with Nestor. Who knows?
How's that for an ending? My guilty pleasure is watching Hoarders.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. You did take out the trash. You literally took out the trash in our Congress, and we really appreciate that. And thank you, Matt, for fighting.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
I'm sorry, that's not going to work for young men. A glass of wine, young men want to go shot for shot for shot for shot. They're not going to be we're not going to be impressed by some fucking kind of posh dude who has a glass of wine. But then watching Hoarders, I don't know. I guess that's who watches Hoarders. But I'm not too worried that Matt Gaetz is going to be the one who turns the young men into reactionaries. I also I wish that the people on the left wouldn't jump into that discourse every time it comes up, because there's just some people you can't reach. And acting like we need to indulge some of the talking points of people like Stefan Molyneux, or what was that, the boy crisis guy, or Jordan Peterson, because otherwise we won't be able to attract young men. I think that's bad. We don't need to actually co-opt that kind of sexist, male supremacist language. That's what makes us better than the sexists and the male supremacists. And that's why people who are very much inclined to sexism and male supremacy probably aren't going to end up over here on the left, because we ain't got nothing for them. And I'd kind of like to keep it that way. So apparently childhood obesity is all Michelle Obama's fault, and Decoding Fox News did a really good job of actually debunking the thing that Boxwine Janine Pirro is going to say here.
And then when they do go to school, the food that they have, I was reading some of the studies, the food they have at school has more sugar in 69% of the cases than it should have. I'm not talking about desserts. I'm talking about the regular food.
Whatever happened to Let's Move? Remember that? Let's Move, Michelle. Did that not stick?
She did what she could.
We should be moving a little bit more.
It was their time to leave the White House.
The Trump administration will soon roll back Obama-era regulations on school lunches in an effort to increase options for healthy and appealing meals for our children.
Which means things like flavored chocolate milk will be back on the menu. Julie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Famously, we remember during the Obama years when these school lunch mandates were put out that a lot of people complained.
These weren't mandates.
There's no taste to the food anymore.
The First Lady actually has no ability to mandate anything. These were suggestions. I'm not kidding. This is amazing because flavored chocolate milk. Yeah, Justin in the chat's like, what do you mean flavored chocolate milk? Like fake chocolate?
The kids won't eat them, but ultimately they were trying to make sure that our kids ate healthier food, right?
That's right. These reforms that went through in 2010, pushed by Michelle Obama, were well-intentioned, but in reality, kids were not eating the food.
It's such a tough problem, though, because obesity is a problem.
Yeah, you give kids a bunch of healthy, like fresh fruit and shit. They're like, strawberry, fuck out of here.
Here in America. So I think Michelle Obama, her idea was to make school lunches healthy. Every parent wants that. And this is not a new problem. I mean, every parent knows it's hard to get your kids to eat vegetables and fruit, especially when they get a little bit older and they're going to school.
Yeah, they were like, is this Michelle Obama's fault? Well, no. Apparently, like, the Trump administration, and I don't even think that they were like laws or mandates. I think they were like guidelines, and I think that they were more suggestions than anything else. But, you know, they're just always wrong. Like, it's like, I don't agree with like Fox News's politics and the politics of the people that are on there, and that's fine. Like, whatever. Like, people have different politics. But like, you just look stupid when you just say things that are wrong and then you look all smug about it. I'm sure I do that shit sometimes, but if I do it, the chat here is like, Dave, you're wrong. And I'm like, oh man, I'm wrong. I think Fox News needs a chat that like, yeah, they kind of like the show and whatever, but they're not going to let them get away with shit. I think that's what Fox News needs. Just like 50 or 60 people hanging out in the chat who are just like cynical and aren't going to let them off the hook for getting shit horribly wrong. I don't think they'll ever do that though. So here's Kennedy, usually one of the better people on the five, and Greg Gutfeld. They're talking about Pete Buttigieg as the transportation secretary. There are, in fact, many things to criticize about Pete Buttigieg. But this ain't it.
As he's on a fast track to the White House, this is all an annoying distraction for him. This whole job is beneath him. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to be bothered. It's as though he's being interrupted every time he's watching Emily in Paris on Netflix. And he's like, oh, God, the planes are grounded again. What is it this time? He doesn't have any answers.
Like, I don't think Pete Buttigieg is a bumbling idiot. Like, that's not, like, what is she doing?
Worse than that.
Phrase for that. He's all broke back and no mountain.
Oh, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. If I was in the studio audience, I would charge the fucking stage. You fucking asshole. Do they have a studio audience?
But anyway,
Geraldo, come on. We saw what you did in the 80s when them white supremacists came on your show. Come on, Geraldo. You know what that is, Geraldo.
Did they really say that?
Yeah, they say that. Say that for the downtown, I hear. You know, the thing is, let's go through the list of people who were chosen for their identity over their competence. You got Kamala, deeply unpopular, right? But ticked 2 boxes. You got Mayor Pete.
Kamala Harris was a smart choice politically. I don't like her. But you know, when you never hear about the vice president, like when you never ever hear about the vice president, that usually means they're working. It usually means they're doing shit.
Local mediocrity. That's what he was. But he was a historical first. Let's go to Rachel Levine, Sam Brontman, Lori Lightfoot, all represent historical firsts. But
Lori Lightfoot was elected, and she has nothing to do with the Biden administration. She's the mayor of Chicago.
Historically incompetent. Cringe Jean-Pierre. How did she get the job? So he doesn't want to do this job because he never had to work that hard. This is what you're seeing. People who get stuff for identity don't want to work.
Whoa, that was fucking very big. All Brokeback No Mountain. He just wanted to make a Brokeback Mountain reference, right? Because nobody says that. Somebody on the panel was even like, even some dumb fuck on the Fox is the Five was like, do they say that? And he was like, oh, they must say it downtown, you know, where all hoo-hoos hang out. Motherfucker. Ooh. Also, that guy's like, his show, Gutfeld, he just straight up stole the Garfield logo for his show. Go look at the logo for his show and tell me he did not steal the Garfield logo. So here's old Tucker Carlson. You remember when it was a big old scandal that Barack Obama every once in a while might go out to the backyard or whatever, the White House, and sneak a smoke? Well, Apparently, that kind of shit's not a scandal anymore.
So you have to kind of wonder, why is tobacco so dangerous? Well, we thought we would ask a member of Congress who uses it, who smokes an occasional cigar. Troy Nehls joins us tonight. Congressman, grateful that you're here, willing to stand up for the most American of all.
Oh my God, he's got like, instead of like, you know, some dudes will wear like a fucking pocket square that matches their tie. This guy's got no tie and fucking cigars in his pocket. Oh man, I wish he had a tie that was just like fucking like cigars, like all sort of like randomly positioned.
Sorry to say it, it's true. It founded the country. Tell us why it's important for you to burn a cigar occasionally in your office.
I like how this just got cut without him even telling it. Yeah, you shouldn't smoke in, like, I mean, I smoke inside in the garage here, a studio, but like when other people are here who don't smoke, I don't smoke in here. And this is a private residence and I shouldn't smoke. But in Congress, in like your office, you shouldn't smoke in your office. In fact, I don't bet. I know it's illegal in DC to smoke indoors. Well, now we're going to move on to the Hunter Biden segment, I guess, of the docket. Here's the former president, Donald Trump, talking about the laptop from hell.
The now famous Twitter files have proven beyond all doubt that the corrupt officials at the FBI have been coordinating a massive censorship, surveillance, and propaganda campaign against the American people and, frankly, against me. In the most recent and notorious example,
Is your regular spray tan guy not available? What's going on here? You're the color of a penny, dude.
FBI worked to stop the truth from being told about the Biden family's criminality. They worked so hard to stop it from coming out. And the corruption prior to the 2020 election. They didn't want any bad information to come out about the Biden family. The fix was in, the election was rigged, but the censorship of the laptop from hell is only the beginning of the story about the weaponization of government against free speech. We must have free speech in our country. We must have a fair and free press. As recent reporting shows, the FBI and other rogue agencies have been systematically colluding with former national security officials placed in high positions at Twitter and very likely other companies to advance their censorship.
Yeah, I mean, how many shades darker does this have to get before it's actually blackface?
Regime, which is really, in this case, to steal an election. This anti-American effort, and a very illegal effort at that, has been working to silence dissenting opinions on COVID and crucial issues on public health and on the election and elections in the future. They suppressed doctors and health experts who dared to question approved public health narratives. They censored voices who criticized school closures, lockdowns, and mandates. And they even banned people simply for stating proven scientific facts. And anything bad about China, they didn't want out. But anything bad about Biden and the Biden crime family, and that's what it was, just look at the laptop from hell. They didn't want that coming out under any circumstances. What they wanted coming out was anything bad about your favorite president, me. Anything bad about Trump, put it out, even if it's not true. But this all had nothing to do with science. This had nothing to do with saving lives. It had everything to do with politics.
If somebody would have shown that to me 10 years ago, I'd have been like, that's satire. That's not real, right? That's a joke. Fucking world we live in. Anyway, this is actually going to play from the Fox News website. So there's a non-zero chance that this won't play. But here's Jesse Waters talking about Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, it's going to play.
You ever been in a rush to get somewhere and you forgot something? Maybe you're running late to work. You leave your lunch right out on the counter. Maybe you're so excited to go on vacation you forgot something big.
Did you close the garage?
That's it. I forgot to close the garage. That's it.
That's not it.
What else could we be forgetting?
Great, I'm going to get a copyright strike because of Fox News.
Kevin!
And when you're in a rush, sometimes you forget what you pack. And that's been Joe Biden's excuse for stealing highly classified documents. Believe it or not, the White House is telling CNN Joe broke the law because he was in a rush. He had trips planned on the last week of his vice presidency. Joe was flying out to Davos, where he was meeting his bud, Chinese President Xi Jinping. I guess Xi couldn't make it to the foothills of the Himalayas. Joe even flew out to Ukraine to meet the Ukrainian president. What was the big guy doing in Ukraine the week before Trump's inauguration? While Hunter was raking in 80 grand a month from working there? That's the million-dollar question. So since Joe was too busy planning his getaway, he had his aides scrambling late night to get him all packed up and out of there. So no wonder Joe was surprised when he opened up the garage one day and saw intel briefings on Ukraine, Iran, Great Britain lodged right beneath the Corvette. Joe didn't think
he could have at least used a Corvette.
Place safer than his Corvette. It's protected by a garage door. But no one seems to know how they got there. Joe doesn't know. His staffers don't know. Does the binder know?
I would refer you to the Department of Justice. I'm going to refer you to the Department of Justice. I will refer you to the Department of Justice. I would refer you to the Department of Justice. We're going to refer you to the Department of Justice. I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
The binder only referred us to the Department of Justice 20 other times. So we took the binder's suggestion and we emailed the Department of Justice for some answers. We asked, how'd those documents wind up in Joe's garage?
They're like, well, this story just broke. Oh, you can't pause a Fox News video. That's right.
Did anyone besides Joe have access to the docs besides Hunter and his Chinese secretary?
Wait, what?
Surprise. They actually answered us. Told us, quote, the department declines to comment. But don't worry, some in Washington do have the answer.
I'm suspicious of the timing of it. I'm also aware of the fact that things can be planted on people. Places and things can be planted. Things can be planted in places.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump to that conclusion.
And then discovered conveniently.
It was obviously Trump who planted the boxes before he was sworn in. They want us to believe this whole thing was just an accident.
President Biden had classified documents in his Wilmington garage, is just breaking. Do you think that's irresponsible and reckless of him?
What's irresponsible is to not disclose when you have documents. He has certainly done that.
Biden people are bringing forth the documents. They're not obstructing access to them or knowledge about them.
Why did he not inform the American public 2 months ago? Do you think that was a mistake?
Well, I don't know what you're saying right.
She doesn't know what she's saying. It was an accident.
That's actually like admirable to tell somebody when you don't know all the details about something.
Over any spy who tried to compromise the garage. Are we supposed to believe that when we know Joe's been sloppy his whole life? The Biden's Delaware home has had a history of security failures. Joe's security system was malfunctioning so badly in 2015 when he was vice president that the Secret Service just shut it off for months. Just shut it off. They even shut off his security cameras. They call that pulling a Paul Pelosi.
What?
Can you imagine?
But Paul Pelosi's security, the Pelosi house security cameras were on. There's just a crime being investigated, and so you're not going to get you're not going to get all the footage from it. And after everything's done, you could file a FOIA request, probably get all the footage. What the fuck? This is an ongoing investigation. They emailed the Justice Department. The Justice Department probably said, we don't comment on ongoing investigations. That's what they always say.
How many people could have just walked in and out of the vice president's house? But Joe said he wasn't worried at all by his faulty security. And if he wasn't worried...
Well, he had the Secret Service there. They probably installed their own shit.
The Secret Service finally fixed it when he was a private citizen. Has anybody done any background checks on Biden's landscapers?
What the fuck?
Right there. Is that Joe's arborist? Does that landscaper look Russian to you?
Wait, no, I don't know. It's blurry because of fucking... What are you talking? That's a blurry... Who knows what the fuck?
Right, Joe had files...
I thought you loved the Russians. What the fuck are you talking about? There's like an actual story here where... I mean, I don't have any opinion on this. I don't know what the fuck happened. We're not sure what happened with Trump in the documents either. There's a wait-and-see situation on both of these.
Next to a window. Forget the locked filing cabinet. You know the spies will look there. They'll never think you'll keep them sitting out on the windowsill.
But wait, why do you think those are classified documents that are sitting on the windowsill? Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe you just printed some shit out. What do you mean?
Remember the Corvette's like right there. Those things are safe. Joe's documents were spread eagle, ready for the taking. But Joe being careless with the docs isn't even the biggest scandal. Hunter has his fingerprints all over this. He was telling people he owned the house where Joe stored away his secrets. Claimed he was also paying $50,000 a month in rent. Why was a 50-year-old man living at his parents' house? Where he was stuff.
If my parents had a few houses, damn straight I'd be living in one of them fucking houses, and you'd be doing it too.
His classified documents. And wait a second. If Hunter could afford $50,000 a month in rent, why was he staying with the big guy? The big guy was charging his son $50,000 a month in rent? Wait a second. Is this how Hunter was funneling foreign money into his dad's pocket? Through rent payments?
What the fuck is this? This is like fucking QAnon Baker level shit here. There's like a real story here, and fucking Jesse Waters is like he's turning it into like a non-story by just making the stupidest claims he can.
Did we just find the smoking gun that's going to take down the Biden crime family? I don't know. Now, we're finding Joe's assistant who packed his bags for him. Kathy Chung was hired after Hunter recommended her. Hey, Dad, I know this Kathy Chung. Trust me, she'll be really good. Don't ask questions.
I have something to tell Hunter, or not, I'm sorry, not Hunter, but Mr. Waters. There are people with the last name Chung who are American citizens. Some people with the last name Chung probably have the highest security clearance you can get, because your family having Chinese ancestry doesn't actually tell us anything about you.
Ms. Chung was so thankful that Hunter got her a job at the White House that she was even sending Hunter phone numbers of Democrats like Crooked, Slick Willie, Nancy. But the bigger scandal is Ms. Chung was setting up appointments with Joe and Amy Gutman. Who's Amy Gutman? Well, she's the president of UPenn. You know, the school China funneled money to Joe through?
What the fuck is this?
Penn Biden Center, the Chinese-funded think tank.
This is the dumbest conspiracy theory I've ever heard. And this is a conspiracy theory channel. We cover conspiracy theories like all the time. This is like such a poorly put together conspiracy theory. Like Alex Jones is so much better at like fucking spinning a conspiracy yarn than Jesse Waters is.
Where the first batch of Biden documents were found stuffed in a closet. And Ms. Chung was inviting Hunter to join Joe Biden and the UPenn president to a meeting.
Okay.
Hunter even canceled a meeting with the prime minister of the Ivory Coast, saying, quote, "The Gutman meeting is a must attend for me, per dad." Why would Joe Biden make it mandatory for Hunter to be in a meeting with the UPenn president about their Chinese-funded think tank?
Wait, what?
And why was Hunter meeting?
How do you know that's what the meeting was about?
Because we don't even have time for that tonight. And as soon as Joe's vice presidency was over, Ms. Chung packed up Joe's boxes with classified docs. And Hunter tells Ms. Chung to come work for him again. Even gave her an office with a water view. Ms. Chung, very popular with the Bidens, just getting passed around all over the place.
Whoa, dude.
The funny thing about Ms. Chung is that she's been working in D.C. for over a decade. And there are no pictures of her anywhere. Can't find them. Who is this Ms. Chung? Why was she handling these classified documents and moving them all around the mid-Atlantic coast? Was Hunter's Fang Fang jealous of
what
Ms.
the
Chung?
fuck?
Jackie Bao, Hunter's assistant who worked for the Biden campaign. Was Jackie Bao at Joe Biden's house? Remember, Biden campaigned from the basement of that house. Is the FBI brushing the documents for fingerprints? Joe should have taken the Hillary tack, just lit the box on fire. Do you think anything's coming from this? You can't indict a sitting president for crimes he committed as a private citizen. So this whole thing's just going to be a big pain in the butt for Biden. Make him look really stupid, sloppy, dishonest, which he is. But for the first time in a long time, there's blood in the water.
Yeah, I don't know enough about this. Well, I'm just taking the wait and see attitude on this. If it's common that presidents get to just kind of take documents out of the White House, maybe that's a problem. Maybe document control needs to be improved. I don't know. I haven't thought too much about it. We'll see how this all shakes out. We probably won't know what really happened for a couple years, both with Trump and Biden on the documents. And so I'm just going to take the wait and see attitude, and we're going to run our next clip. This is the opposite of a palate cleanser. I really don't have much to say before I run this. I wonder if Justin ran this earlier this week.
Bible, my mouth waters for the things of God. One taste, then to another. Now I'm standing before you, a doulos hooked on God's word. All right, my heart's burning, on fire for God.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah.
Drummer sucks.
For the things of God.
Well, what I know is they need a new drummer, because when they went to solo the drummer was like tunk 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 tunk. I mean, I don't drum, but my God, like the average punk band has a better drummer than that. So what we got here is Brianna Joy Gray, part of the dumb left, just saying that just liberals are just being a little too mean to old Matt Taibbi and Glenn Greenwald. And if we'd just be a little bit nicer to old Matt Taibbi and Glenn Greenwald, then I don't know, maybe things would be better. Who fucking knows? Where's Virgil?
I think people like Glenn are brilliant and have had so much of journalistic value and integrity over the years. Matt Taibbi, many of these people, if I were a liberal and I wanted them to do more reporting that advanced my own political project, I would try a little honey and less vinegar.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Wait, so we're supposed to kiss their asses? They're like publishing like basically word for word propaganda that Elon Musk has given them about what happened at Twitter before Elon Musk got there. They're not getting like unfettered access to any of this stuff. They're literally getting dispatches of information from the CEO of a corporation, and they're reporting it. They're being stenographers essentially for the CEO of a corporation. And the way that we're supposed to respond to that is to kiss their ass. And maybe they'll stop doing that. What a dumb fucking... That's dumb as fuck. They deserve every bit of vitriol they get for being a stenographer for the CEO of any company. So this story, it broke last week, but there wasn't enough information and we weren't able to get like a good video of it. But it turns out the Laverne, Tennessee Police Department, they may be violating your rights, but they also fucking.
A shocking investigation finding sexual relationships, sending explicit photos, and open marriages involving Laverne police officers. The city's report, obtained by WSMV through an open records request, says it all centered around Officer Megan Hall, who was given the department's Community Service Award just back in August.
Okay, that's funny.
The report says Hall had unreported sexual relationships with 6 other officers, some of which happened while at work. The report also mentions a Girls Gone Wild type party on the houseboat of Laverne FOP President Eric Statz. A city spokesperson confirmed the report in a statement, but said, quote, additional details cannot be released at this time due to the ongoing investigation. The report obtained by WSMV says Hall and all of the men admitted to the relationships. Another officer also admitted to workplace violence for choking a staff member who was sitting at her desk.
There's going to be a lot more to this. I'm seeing in the chat from Justin that she was coerced and possibly the victim of violence. I'm I'm guessing that's, as we learn more and more about this, we're going to find out that she was maybe less of a willing participant than everyone might be saying. So we're going to go to Dundee Schools in Michigan. There's going to be somebody who's going to complain to the school board, I guess, about rainbow flags.
I wrote it down this time so I don't get screwed up. Parents need, I'm Deborah Craigie. I'm sorry, I caught myself. Parents need to be parents, and teachers need to go back to teaching whatever subject they major in and not try to counsel our kids, not filling their heads with a bunch of nonsense. The grooming needs to stop. If you want to do it in your home, that's one thing, but you do not come into the school and push it on children that are impressionable. We don't need.
Wait, if you want to do grooming at home, you can, but just don't do it at the school. That sounds like a bad message.
Rainbow flags in the class. As for disgusting books, they should not be allowed in the school. That's the parents' responsibility to teach sex education to their kids. The basic body parts are one thing, but encouraging such sexual relationships is very wrong, and you're doing nothing but asking for major problems. Kids need to be kids, and we need to be guiding them to be successful, bringing back the basics. I've said this before, like cooking, woodworking, basic mechanics, sewing, just basic social skills for them to be able to communicate with people in life and just to make it in life. We need to focus on bowling because that is out of hand. Communication from the parents with their kids and making it a thing in the school to bring awareness. These furry kids should not be acknowledged. They're looking for attention. God did not make a mistake.
Oh no, the furry kid should not be acknowledged. And she sounded like she said bowling, but she said bullying. And I'd be willing to bet that a lot of times when this stuff about LGBTQ plus issues comes up in class, it's a result of bullying. You know, one of the parents or one of the kids has gay parents, or maybe a trans parent, or one of the kids is maybe gender non-conforming themselves. And then this stuff comes up in class because it has to, because it's not just a school, it's also a community. And you have to maintain rules in a community, and you kind of have to, explain some shit to some people sometimes in a community, and that's it. I don't know, furry kids not be acknowledged. Well, then what are you doing talking about them? And there's no furry kids at school. Do you know how much a fursuit is? My God. Anyway, a little bit of a content warning. This is from Waukesha, Wisconsin. This is from a school district meeting, maybe the school board. I don't know if it's technically called the school board there. And good to see Base of PJ's lead poisoning statistic meme making the rounds. Here, this is from Chuds of TikTok. And here's a guy who's very concerned about, I don't know, something.
Address the dress code we were talking about, because apparently shoes relate to students, except for all the private schools we go to. You know, private schools have dress codes, and those students do just fine. They're not struggling to learn. They don't have to have all, newest of weirdest literature. They read classics and they learn. How can that be? How can students go to private school and learn under those absurd conditions? Well, it happens every day in this town, and we lose a lot of students because of that. It's just the absurdities that I hear. The other thing is Parents' Bill of Rights. One that's being told political. This is about politics all of a sudden. See, I'm old enough and been coming around here long enough that I know the history of this board. And I wear these shirts because of the history of this board, because it attacked the Second Amendment, and it decided under its old regime to play politics in here.
Wait, what the fucking, is the school board going to overturn the Second Amendment?
That. So, now the worm is turned. You guys decided.
He's like, you're not letting all the kids show up to school with a gun.
Leftists decided to play politics so much that you drove the citizens of this town nuts, and they actually threw you all out. Not my problem. But my child is my problem, and I have the right to know what is going on. And my child is also a daughter. Happy birthday, Sam.
Wait, this is how you're spending your daughter's birthday?
Is heavily in sports. She cannot compete against a male. A born male with male genitalia is a male. A woman, a female, born with female genitalia is a male. There's no getting around that.
He does sound a little like he's trying to do a Ben Shapiro impression.
What you are. And to say that a male can compete in a female and have a fair and playing field that a female can get when there are scholarships at hand, mind you, is absurd. In wrestling, we limit people to their weight. Why? To make it fair? No, so some others don't get hurt. That's why we do these things. There are reasons for it. The name I gave my child is only mine and my right to change alone. And I gave it at birth, and it will never change. That is my...
Oh, no, I don't know about that. If your offspring fucking turns 18 and files for a name change, ain't shit you could do about it, Pops.
Right to get it. And it is who she is.
Seconds.
And it is who I gave her that name, and the only one that can change it, in my opinion, is God himself.
It'd be great if God came in and said, your daughter's name is now Karen. Like, what the fuck was that guy talking about? That was just like talking point soup. He, like, somebody in chat was saying this guy like thinks he's smart because he listens to Ben Shapiro, and I think he was trying to do a bit of a Ben Shapiro impression. More on Ben later. Here's from Caldwell, Ohio. There's a school district. They're trying to put in some students' rights protections. This goes pretty poorly.
You state your name, sir, and your address.
Before my time starts, I want to just address the rules that you guys put forward.
No, this is part of your time.
For instance, you said you can't criticize employees or anything like that. The Supreme Court ruled back in 1983 that any government public forum, which this is an official forum, anybody can say whatever they want. And that includes, and they specifically said this in the case, criticizing school district employees and the board. So by telling them you can't, you're violating all these people's First Amendment rights.
Sir?
That's how it goes. So my name's Chris Trakel. I live at 2019 Fairview Avenue. First, I want to talk about policy 2520 about the curriculum. I'm hoping it's just some oversight, but in there, according to Idaho law 33-512, one half of the curriculum committee has to be made up by parents, not a quarter. So you guys need to go back and check that. That's Idaho law. And then on top of that as well, you're striking out the part that says that you're not legally responsible for providing the materials and stuff like that. I like to point out also 33-512 section 3, you are legally to provide materials to the school children and the school boards. So why you guys are striking that out, I don't know, but you are legally responsible for it. It's Idaho statute. Now, to get on to the exciting part of 3280.
Sir, this is not Toastmasters.
Discussed last time I came here as a parent, but I don't get afforded that right because people like to attack me and use my official position instead. So I'm here on my official position. You, under Idaho law, are required to maintain the morals and health of all the students. How can you do that when, like that little girl came up here and said, and you allow a male to use a female bathroom? You're going to put all of their moral health and safety at risk. And
sexual assaults tend not to happen in public bathrooms. You ever tried to have consensual sex in a public bathroom?
I told you before, you will face litigation. You called that a threat. I'm telling you, that is what will happen. It's already happened in several states, and there's already been rulings on it. So before you waste taxpayer money, before you put a kid in harm's way, you better throw this policy out and not even consider. I've got the floor. Ms. Pacino, will you please listen to me?
So she should say no.
Yeah, you claim you want people to follow the rules, but you break the rules left and right. Last month, you allowed 2 people to speak.
We will recess this meeting right now.
You do not get to demand to follow the rules. Break them yourself.
I like the guy, like, just to the left of the middle. He's like laughing at this guy.
We will recess for 15 minutes. I'm sorry. We have asked you absolutely know the protocol.
You're not following protocol yourself.
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
No.
The guy closing his laptop was a second. I like him. The guy's just to the left of the center. He's like, fuck this.
A second. Okay, we have a second.
Real fast, I'm going to quote Section 74201. The people of the state of Idaho, in creating the instruments of their government, sir, do not yield the sovereignty to the agencies so created. Vote. This is who you listen to.
Okay, can you turn him off? Okay, so I would like to call vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, meeting has been adjourned. Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, this is for their own safety. The meeting is being adjourned for the safety of the people at the front. Whoa, somebody took their kid to this?
We promise you. You're unethical.
A fucking humiliating moment for America here. My God.
You shouldn't. You should be held accountable.
I hope they have like a side door they can leave through or something.
Fake news, interview the senator.
Yeah, they adjourned the meeting like I think they adjourned their meeting for their own safety. Like that was really bad. And fucking bad shit. I don't know, we've watched hundreds of these though. The people that show up at these meetings don't necessarily represent the community. Sometimes they're not even from the community. A lot of times they're not parents. Most of the parents either don't care or generally kind of trust the teachers and the school board and shit. It's just the general attitude of the parents. Most places, in most cases. But those people don't show up because they're like being like, actually, this is fine. There's just not a lot of heat behind that. Anyway, here's a story that's pretty funny. Here's apparently Ron Paul wanted to get involved in education himself, but, didn't want to run for school board or anything like that. So here's the Ron Paul homeschool curriculum introduction.
Welcome to the Ron Paul curriculum.
He said racistly.
For many years, I've thought about how I could participate in education. At one time, I thought I might like to start an ordinary school. But since getting out of Congress, I have become fascinated with the opportunities to promote education through the internet, and that is the reason that I am very much involved with the Ron Paul curriculum.
What has your name on it?
It's so important because we have such a disastrous problem, with our government school system now. But what I have designed here is an opportunity to get education through the internet from K through 12. And this doesn't cover every single subject, but let me tell you a little bit about what it does cover.
Freedom.
Emphasize history, it's going to emphasize economic policy, and it'll be different than what most youngsters are getting from their high schools and their grade schools. Economics certainly won't be teaching socialism and Keynesianism, and history will have a different perspective as well. We will be talking courses on natural science, the humanities, as well as business. And these are three major categories that we will be talking about. But by the time our students
no math or science
get to the 11th and 12th grade, they have to make a decision on which way they want to go. Do they want to study the humanities? Do they want to go into natural sciences? Or are they interested in starting a business as soon as possible? So that will be a time that individuals would be trying to make a decision exactly which way to go with the use of our curriculum. But it's also
he did say natural science. I was wrong.
Available to the students a course. It's a special course that if they decide, well, my goal right now is to go to college. It's a special course to condition and get people to understand how to take these entrance exams and take these tests. We're convinced that if they do this, they can save a lot of money, because if you test out You can save 2 years of college, and you're saving a lot of money.
Oh, I don't need to take this this 100 or 101 level course. Actually, I went to the Ron Paul Academy. Excuse me. Just imagine the fucking balls going into like your first year at a university and trying to convince somebody of that.
So this is a brief outline of what the curriculum is like. Take a look at it and see what you think, because I believe very sincerely that this is a very important project and it can change the future for a long time to come. Thank you for listening.
Grafter. That shit's probably really, really expensive. And it's just a homeschooling curriculum. That's all he's doing, is like trying to give like materials to people who want to homeschool their kids. Homeschooling isn't always bad. Some people just live in a rural area and like just the drive to school is bad. And if they're capable of doing it and someone's a stay-at-home parent, there's ways in which you can do it pretty well. I'd say probably up until high school. I think once it gets to be about high school, that your kids need to be like socializing with other kids. That's just my opinion, though. I'm not an education expert. So this next video, it's going to be really hard for you not to be distracted by the beard, but try to listen to the wild thing this guy is saying. Just try. We'll see if we can. We'll work on it together.
Hey friends, Prophet Charlie Shamp here. The Bible declares to us that Ishmael was conceived through contention and striving for the promise, while Isaac, on the other hand, was conceived simply by trusting and believing in God. Faith is in the rest. Today I decree and I declare to you.
See, I knew you weren't going to be able to get past the beard. Again, if you're listening to the podcast version of this, you got to go check out the video, or at least check the show notes. In the show notes, this is called "Don't Get Distracted by the Beard." Did he use Sharpie instead of Just for Men? Like on his beard?
That you are entering into the rest. Receive it now in the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
No, I don't think it's like a Snapchat filter or whatever. I think that I like the hypothesis that he used a Sharpie actually on his beard. I like that one a lot. It was the best hypothesis. Maybe he used charcoal. Just fucking charcoal like on his beard. That's fucking funny. So to close out the docket this week, we might go into red light a couple minutes early this week. I got two Tiny Dancer Ben Shapiro clips. One of them is just so everybody knows, Tiny Dancer Ben has a law degree, and he's going to talk about how Marjorie Taylor Greene had her video removed from Twitter due to copyright because she was using a Dr. Dre song, and Dr. Dre was like, no. He's like, I'm gonna have my lawyer take that video down. Here's Tiny Dancer Ben with a law degree explaining copyright law.
My goodness. I mean, Dr. Dre of F the Police fame, Dr. Dre of words that I cannot say on the air fame. Reading his lyrics would, of course, get me in trouble, not just because it would be incredibly memeable, but because his lyrics, particularly at the start of his career, are disgusting. His lyrics about the police, about women, about violence, about drug use are indeed horrifying.
Yeah. So he shouldn't be able to use copyright law. That's the rules. Ben Shapiro, attorney at law. And Ben got memed pretty bad this week. Here's Tiny Dancer Ben Shapiro, trying to write logical mathematical proofs that his own made-up methodology, that his own worldview is correct.
So here is the equation. L equals, and the numerator is S plus, and then it's R times A plus I. Okay, so S in this particular equation represents social solidarity. So if you have an area that has a lot of social solidarity, that's going to help.
Isn't fuck the police public enemy?
The government. Because obviously social solidarity means you're all going to vote in ways that you're not going to offend your neighbor because you like your neighbor and you're not there to use the government to crack down on your neighbor. Plus, responsiveness of the authority to input, that's R, times the avoidability of the authority. So if you know that the government is both responsive to you and also if you're unable to get a response from the government, you're able to avoid the government, right? Can move out of the area. And this also contributes to the legitimacy of the government. I don't have to, if I'm in California and I don't like California, I can leave. That means that the government has a high level of legitimacy. One of the reasons being even though I disagree with the way that California is governed, I can always take off, which means the people who are left there are consenting to being there. Plus I, which is the ability of any authority to advance the interests of its population. So, in other words, if government has the following aspects, it is going to have a lot of legitimacy at any level. This, by the way, doesn't just apply to governments. It actually applies to families as well. If there's a lot of social solidarity within the area governed by the government, if that government is responsive to input from people, if you can avoid the government, if the government doesn't rule the way you want to, you can leave. And if the government is very effective at implementing the needs and wants of its citizens, it's going to have a high level of consent. Okay, the denominator. These are the things the government can do to undermine its own authority, essentially. V is violation of fundamental or pragmatic rights by the authority or destruction of rules and roles by the authority. So the government decides it's going to wipe away civil society. It's going to wipe away your rights. It is now jacked up the levels of control it is using against you. It undermines the legitimacy of the government. R, right? This is R prime. It's the regulatory strictness of the authority. So the authority passes very, very strong regulations to move against you. This undermines the legitimacy of the government unless you've consented at a very high level to that government. And finally, the aggressiveness of the enforcement by the authority.
I like how he's got a R and an A that mean two different things there. He's like, oh, R prime. He stuck a fucking quotation mark next to it or whatever, or an apostrophe next to it. So that's actually a different R and a different A. He's the ultimate math nerd, everybody. I don't know what the fuck that was. I just know that this guy is the best they got over there. He's the intellectual powerhouse of the new right. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm actually more scared of the people at the meeting that we watched. It's from the Ron Paul curriculum. This is the social science part of the Ron Paul curriculum. Not a bad callback. Anyway, that's the pod. Everybody got an hour and 50 minutes or maybe a little more this week instead of an hour. But still, if you want red light, check out patreon.com/echoplex. Anybody at the $5 level or above can get that. Also, you can just email me. Just be like, I would like the whole show, and I'll just send you a link to download it. I'm not going to fucking paywall an MP3 or an MP4 over $5. It's some fucking petty shit. Thanks, everybody. This show's been fun. Stick around, live viewers. We're going to go into red light in just a minute here. I have to turn the lights red and pour a cocktail. This is, as always, Boomers by Periscope. I'll see everybody on the flip side.
Down Ballot is Echoplex Media's hyperlocal Bay Area and California news show, focusing on local politics and the lighter side of big city issues through the eyes of local news. Producer Dave and the councilman untangle the threads of small government and show us just how petty city politics can be. Tune in live at twitch.tv/EchoplexMedia, Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Find our full schedule at echoplexmedia.com.